Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into sprint planning. This is the event that really kicks everything off, and honestly, it can make or break an entire sprint by setting the tone, the direction, and the team's shared commitment. So let me start by asking you a question. If you had to pick just one meeting in Scrum, the single most important one, what would you choose? Well, you can make a really strong case for the one that starts it all. And that, of course, is sprint planning. You can think of it as a framework for answering three simple but incredibly powerful questions. And they all build on each other to create a plan that's focused and, most importantly, actionable. So let's dig into how this all works.
Okay, so it all begins with the most fundamental question of all. Why? Why are we even doing this work? It's all about establishing a purpose that everyone on the team can get behind.
And the team answers this by working together to create something called a sprint goal. Now, the product owner might come in with an idea, maybe proposing how this sprint can move the needle on the bigger product goal. But, and this is key, it's the entire team that works to shape that idea into something inspiring and, actually achievable. And here's a great example. You can see a good sprint goal isn't some vague mission statement. It's a super clear, customer-focused objective just like this. It's specific, it's measurable, and it focuses on an outcome, not just a random list of tasks to get done. You should really think of this goal as a lighthouse for the team. It keeps everyone aligned and focused, for sure. But here's the cool part. It also gives them flexibility. It empowers them to make smart decisions throughout the sprint. If a new idea comes up, they can just ask, hey, does this actually get us closer to our goal? So once that why is crystal clear, the next logical question is, of course, the what. What actual work is going to get us there? This is the part where the team selects the scope of their work. They start pulling from the product backlog, and they're specifically looking for items that will help them hit that sprint goal. This isn't just picking things off a list. It's a real conversation, full of negotiation and clarification. And there's a really clear division of roles in this conversation, kind of a dance. The product owner is there to present the options and explain the why from a business perspective. But ultimately, it's the developers who select the work, asking all the tough questions to make sure it's actually doable. Now, this right here is a crucial point. The developers own the forecast. Notice that word, forecast. It's not a contract signed in blood promising to finish every single item. It's their best, most realistic prediction of what they can deliver to achieve the sprint goal. That feeling of ownership is absolutely vital for accountability. All right, we've got our why and our what. The final piece of this whole puzzle is the how. This is about creating the actual game plan for the sprint. So this is where the developers really get to roll up their sleeves. They take those backlog items they selected and start breaking them down into a concrete plan. And we're not talking about a simple to-do list here. This is a much more strategic breakdown of the work that lies ahead. They're thinking through everything, the whole picture, all the technical steps, any potential risks that might pop up, and exactly how all the different pieces are going to fit together to create a valuable, measurable outcome. This is where the real problem solving starts. And again, notice who owns this plan. It's created by the developers for the developers. It is not set in stone. It's a living, breathing guide that's fully expected to change and adapt as they learn more during the sprint. Okay, so now that we've gone through the why, the what, and the how, what are the key ingredients you need to make sure this whole process actually works like it's supposed to? Well, it really just comes down to a few essential things. You need a well-prepared backlog, a product owner who can really articulate the value of the work, developers who have a good, realistic sense of their own capacity, and, of course, that powerful sprint goal that ties everything together. If you're missing any of these, the meeting can go off the rails pretty fast. So when the meeting is finally over, what does the team actually walk away with? It's not just a bunch of vague ideas. They should be leaving with three very specific and very powerful things. First, you get the sprint goal. That's your North Star. Second, you get the sprint backlog, which is the forecast of work plus the plan to actually do it. And finally, and this is so critical, you get a shared understanding of how the work is going to get done. That alone prevents so many problems down the road. Okay, let's put a bow on this. What if you had to explain all of this in, say, a job interview? How could you wrap up this entire process into a perfect, concise answer that shows you really, truly get it? Well, here you go. This one sentence hits every single key point: the collaboration, the goal, the selected work, and the final outcome, a transparent plan for getting it all done. It's comprehensive, it's clear, and it shows you have a deep understanding of the whole process. So, you walk out of sprint planning with a fantastic plan. But, we all know that famous saying, no plan survives contact with reality. So what happens when things change? How does the team adapt it day to day while still trying to hit that sprint goal? Well, that sounds like a great question for another time.